And hello to all my Libra friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for January 2022. Can you believe it? January already. So, today they've dialed up for you a storyline spread. It's a great spread for a general monthly reading because it's a scatter shot. It casts a very wide net across all the different Libras. It gives them an opportunity to talk about anything they want, any story that they want to talk about that is pertinent to you guys. It allows me to be very accurate because it's like a bunch of different readings all in one. Cast, like I said, that very wide net. So the whole idea is to find the story that's right for you, the story that's all about you. There should at least be one in here that is. Now, I have had people say that multiple stories sometimes do resonate, and that's okay, but really it's all about finding the one. They've asked that I conclude your reading with a chakra scrub. So this is spiritual health stuff. Very interesting to see what they have in store for that as well. And at the end of this video, it's going to autoplay into the next video, which is something special I do for you guys in January, and I only do this in January for anyone. And this is what I call quadrants. This forecasts the entire year for my Libras by sign. It's a very deep dive into divination and it's an intriguing spread, so I hope you guys join me for that as well. But first, let's do your January. So let's get into it. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save time. What I'm going to do right now is bring you in so you can watch. Go ahead and hit the like button if you're ready to have a great 2022. And I think we're on. Yes. Okay. What I'm doing right now I like to do on camera, they are my ritual cuts. Basically cuts the deck into 3 different pieces and puts it back together in a separate order. And then they're ready to go. And that also satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. And then we're ready to go. So storyline spread for Libra, January. Starting with some inverts. See if that'll change. I start the spread with 5 cards, and that's actually what we're going to end with, interestingly enough. But since we have so many inverts, we got 4 out of 5, I got to do a discard, and that's it right there. Basically, they say that they want it read that way on purpose. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to give them what they want. Now I need to figure out the split of the stories. I'm going to do one. It's kind of an intriguing mix because usually that has to go here. So there's one. Now which one gets you? Okay, so there's our 3. You guys are making me work hard here, Libra. What is going on? So there's our 3 stories after much deliberation. A lot of inverts, but you know that may change as I tack on cards. So here's what I have to do. I have to get more information. This is going to make the storyline spread much larger. And I will move things accordingly so that you can see them on the screen better. Make sure everything is very visible for you. And that wraps up that. Now I just need angel cards. I do an angel card for every single story in the storyline spread. That just gives us extra information. And there we go. There's our 3 stories. Now I just got to get it so you can see it. And I think we're about there. That should do her. Okay, let's go, Libra. 1, 2, 3 stories. And the chakra scrub coming right up. I'm going to start with... They're all kind of equal level here as far as information. There's not really any huge, large story or any small story. They're all just kind of equal. I'm just going to start over here, left to right. Organize this so I can see it better. Okay, so this first story is very intriguing. It's almost bipolar. The reason I say that is because they're saying action, inaction. So it's like 2 different things. One thing needs an inaction, one thing needs an action. We start with the star card. That doesn't give us a lot of information, but it does tell us that this is all about your choices here in story number 1. This is not fate. This is not anything destined or destiny or anything predetermined, anything with momentum. This is all about your choices here. They want you to know that. And they want you to find comfort in knowing that. That's what I have for the Oracle Angel card here, basically helping you in this time of need. That's what the angels are saying. And they want you to know that this is all of yours. This is yours. This is not anybody else's fault. This is because of your choices. So if this doesn't make sense to you, this is not supposed to confuse you in any way. You're either going to attach to what I'm talking about here coming up, or you're not. And if you're not, like I said, that's fine. There's 3 stories here for a reason. So the first thing that they're talking about the action with, I have the Prince come up. In other decks, this is the Knight. So this is an action card. And they didn't come out and tell me people. Now, this certainly could be about people. And if that's the case, they didn't tell me enough to tell me that this is a love thing. So I can't really even go there, to be quite honest with you. I have to read this like energetic. This is the energetic definition of these cards and not the people. The first one, it's an inaction with money. It's an inaction with money for the month of January. This is not the time to spend. We have an action with the thought process of this. So although you're not necessarily spending, or at least that's the advice, if you're already kind of taking it easy financially, you're probably in a good situation here in story 1 because that's what they want. So it's just a continuance of what you're already doing. If you are spending money like a lot, you might want to tone it down a little bit here just in case you are at story number 1. Because what they're saying here is that they want you to start thinking about this because the growth is going to be slow perhaps. And I don't know for how long it's going to be slow for. Perhaps it's just for January. It's really hard to say because we're only reading for January. But this month here in story number 1 looks like a slow money month. Now, if that's going to be across the whole sign, we'll see, because we're going to jump into these other stories. And I do see more pentacles coming in, and pentacles are coins and coins are money. So that's really the tarot language for money. They talked about that quite a bit in your other stories as well. So there may or may not be congruence. We're just going to have to see as we go. But if you are here with me in story number 1, they're letting me know to tell you that this is all you're doing, and to find comfort in knowing that this is just part of the process. This is going to break at some point. And until it does, don't do crazy stuff with money. I mean, it's kind of like clear enough for me, at least. Makes sense. Also with that growth, I feel like I'm missing something there. That slow growth, it's a reminder that it doesn't mean it's not growing. It doesn't mean that this is not going to improve. It just means that this is happening slowly, very, very slowly. Story number 2. Story number 2 is going to be very, very moon cycle based. I'm going to do that after I tell you about the story because you're going to see how they go together. I have the Devil card inverted. This is a break from something that you're attached to. Could be a person. It could be a habit. It could be a job. I've seen the Devil card come up for employers before. Well, in a general reading, really hard to say. But the energy is the same here. So whatever it is that the context is for you here, whatever you're bound to here, if you're with me in story number 2 at all, that's what they talk about. But they talk about this break from the bondage, a break from those handcuffs, and now you're free to take your power back. That's what they gave me in that Oracle Angel card. So once you break free from this, it's so overpowering. It's manifesting, and blessings are just able to come through much more clear. It's just like a break from the old. It's a changing of the guard, getting rid of the old guard, letting the new guard come in. That's what you're doing with this break of the devil or the handcuffs or negative influence in general. Really what they show there. We have the Hoarder card here, so it's actually saying, no, this is going to be different advice financially from that first one, because this one they're saying it's time to open it up and not be a hoarder. It's actually okay to spend here. Now, how am I going to differentiate between the two? Well, let me finish reading here the last card. That'll probably give us a little hint. It's really talking about, and it might not even be financial. Let me just give you the energetic definition too. If you've been holding on to anything for too long, something you got to let go, whether it's people, gosh, this is like so moon cycle. I mean, sorry for getting ahead of myself, but this is total full moon energy here. We're really talking about middle of the month stuff right here. We have the Emperor card inverted. So they're saying that you have not been, you've not owned this, perhaps, or taken the power that you need to. The Emperor is a very powerful card, so it lines up with the Angel card they gave us for take your power back, literally what the card says. So here, they really want you to be the boss. It doesn't mean be the boss at work. It really just means own the situation and be the boss of it. That's really what comes up. Now, going back to that Hoarder card, it's time to let something go. So this might have nothing to do with money, or it also could be time to open it up. If I am reading somebody personally and this comes up, usually it's financial, and usually it's kind of saying like you don't have to hold on to it anymore. It's time that you can kind of open up the wallet a little bit. But I don't want to tie it down too tight because it is a general reading, so it may not be that. And plus, we also had contradictory advice in story 1. So please be careful about where you attach here. But story number 2, especially since the advice is different. Story number 2 is really all about if you haven't been authoritative, and that's probably the best way that you can attach this. If you haven't been doing necessarily a great job of your power, January is the perfect time to change that. Now let's get into the moon cycles. I'm going to start with that full moon energy because that's what we just talked about. Getting something out of your life, taking your power back, breaking free from those shackles. So it's a removal here. That is full moon energy. It happens on January 17th. That's the full moon of January. That is the best time to get anything out of your life. I call it the garbage truck of the universe. It doesn't matter if it's emotional baggage, if it's stuff that's even just in your head like stress or anxiety, even if it's people. For some of you, it's people that need to go and they need to not come back like forever. That's certainly a thing. And even getting rid of old stuff comes up. Sometimes some people have to, go through an attic and get rid of their old junk, or clear out a storage unit and, get rid of their old junk. So that can be a very physical thing too, but as you can see, also emotional, also cerebral. So that is the full moon energy. We have the new moon come in on January 2nd. That's when most of you are probably viewing this video or close to it. So now is the perfect time to bring anything new into your life. It doesn't have to be on January 2nd. Anytime toward the beginning of the month is ideal to do that. Middle of the month, no. You're getting into that full moon energy. End of the month, it gets better because you're getting into the February new moon, but that's how those moon cycles work. So very important for taking your power back to kind of plan this, mitigate or budget, or not, budget's not the right word, but really kind of prepare for what this is and how you can address it by the middle of the month. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of time to kind of prepare. So there's story number 2 and your moon cycles. Story number 3. This is a physical, this is an injury. It's the card of injury. It's a setback, usually physically, not necessarily physically. This is an impairment of some form. It's like if you break an arm, hurt yourself at work, sleep funny on your neck, and now you have a crink in your neck for like 5 days, or, anywhere along the frequency band. I mean, it can be small, like stubbing your toe. It could be huge, like, mental sickness, or even physical sickness, flu, disease, wherever. It can go from high extreme to low extreme. So that is very much a thing for January. Just kind of be aware of that. And it's not going to be for everybody. Like I said, there's 3 different stories here. But the second card here really tells us a lot. This is the Queen of Pentacles inverted. Pentacles also fall into health. And since this is a very health-related message, it's health. They're not talking about money here. Even though when I glanced at it, I saw Pentacles, I assumed all the stories are money. This is actually health-related here. So this is inverted. It's basically saying you need to nurture your health here. January is a good time to nurture your health. Some of you probably already are or have been. Continue to do so. This is coming up for a reason. It's not the time to back off the pedal. It's time to put the pedal down further and address this. Keep addressing whatever it is that any kind of health impairments that you have, or anything holding you back to what you're trying to do with your health, with your physical body, with your goals. Really important to move forward with that, and it's really time to nurture your health. So if it's something new you're trying to bring in, we just talked about that new moon, beginning of the month, really good time to do that. They're telling me that you are safe here. That's the Oracle Angel card that I have, basically that you're protected against the lower energies, and that the angels are kind of watching over you. And not just you, but your family, your loved ones, all that stuff. It's saying you're safe, you're good. You don't really need to worry about kind of the weird stuff. You can just kind of focus on maybe simplifying things, getting your body straight, whatever that they're talking about here. And finding the context of what I'm talking about obviously is key, so that you know what I'm talking about. But you're safe here. It's not saying that this is something that is going to be like life-threatening or anything like that. They're letting you know you're protected, you're good, your family's good. They just want you to take this time to address whatever this health thing is that needs addressing. Really what that's about. We end that with the 5 of Swords. This is a card of war and chaos. So it's letting you know that this can be a brutal path, or at least that it doesn't come necessarily easy. This is going to be hard work. They didn't come out and say hard work. They just said tough energy here. It's the card of war and chaos. And that, usually is, the trick is finding the peace within that, finding what brings you peace. So really what works best for you is huge, because there's going to be a lot going on here. And, if it's something that doesn't work for you, it's, there is a mental part of this, very mental part with the Five of Swords. Swords is always a cerebral suit, but you have to, and even the angel card, he's holding a sword. So this is very, very mental, guys. Libra, very, very mental. You have to be all in your head here for this to stick, for it to work. Doing something at the beginning of the month with the new moon, it's not enough. It's not enough if you're not committed up here. So you need both. You really need both at this time to make anything new that you're trying to do in health stick. Same thing for if you're trying to remove something. The example I give is that I do sometimes is I cut out sugar for a while. That's a removal energy. So if that's something you're doing with your health or removing anything there, middle of the month, much better time to do that. But again, has to be here for you guys. Libra is super cerebral in January, so you have to be all in your head. You have to decide and basically decide to nurture your physical. Like the deciding part comes first. Up here first, mind over matter. That's really what that's about. Now let's get into your chakra scrub. Now that we talked about some physical health, now let's talk about some spiritual health. We didn't use that many cards, but we're kind of on the line there. I like to give them the chance to reuse cards if they so choose. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reshuffle the cards. I'm going to cut away while I do that so you're not bored with watching all that. So I'll be right back. Okay, Libra, I am back. The cards are shuffled. I'm doing the ritual cuts, which I always do. Put them back together in a separate order, and then they're ready to run. So here we go. I like to go top to bottom here. At least that's how I lay out the cards, and then we'll talk about it accordingly of what comes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's see. I want to get a couple angel cards here too. For the big ones, there's just 2. Okay, good. I'm going to read this, even though I do the cards top to bottom, I'm going to read bottom up. Chakra coming in very good on the root. Love message. Some of you are, well, your root chakra is, let me put it this way. I'm trying to make this like, I guess, G-rated. Your root chakra, your red chakra, is your appendages, and it's also your pelvic region, your sexual organs, spine, base of the spine. It's coming in with love messages. So, so there's that. As we move up to orange, they're showing learning from old lessons in orange. So this is emotions. Your orange chakra here is your emotional center, and they're saying learning from old lessons. So this is lessons that you struggle with that are popping back in perhaps in January, or from previous that is popping through and attached to you and carrying into your January. So really important to learn from these lessons, and they are emotional ones. So advice, it doesn't really show that this is something that like you need to do. It's not like the chakra's clogged or not working or anything else like that. It's saying that it's just lessons repeating, that it's just affecting you emotionally. So I don't see any kind of issue as far as like what you can do about it, besides just not repeating old lessons, just in general. Moving up, here we have yellow. This is your willpower, free will, choices. Really, they're showing this is focused on one thing right now. This is very, very, very focused. So you guys are extremely either motivated or, I'm trying to think of a better word than focused, but I don't think there really is one in this situation. You're really focused on one thing right now, and you're just like eye on the prize. Like this is it right now. There's just no other choice. This is just what I'm focusing on. And again, I don't view it as a blockage or anything bad or anything. I mean, they're all flowing here. It's just, I'm just giving you information of what's coming up. So here we go. Next stop is heart. Heart's a little bit, a little sadder than I'd like to see. It's really leaving something behind that needs to go, that is you're hesitating on. This could be somebody close to your heart. This could also be something close to your heart. It's an emotional attachment of some form. Doesn't mean that your heart chakra needs work. Doesn't mean it's not flowing, but it's really kind of saying it's very, very stagnant here. It's almost like this thing, well, maybe it is a little bit stuck. Maybe this thing needs to open up. Maybe it's stuck for the wrong reasons. Maybe you're stuck on the wrong thing, the wrong people, the wrong environment, the wrong workplace. Something like that is kind of being a little bit of a harbinger there, getting in your way, stopping this heart chakra from kicking. As we move up into the throat chakra, the first thing they show is the Empress card. That is divine feminine. It is birth, renewal. Good things in the physical plane here coming up for your throat chakra. It's kicking very, very, very well. You should use this to your benefit to do things like clear your space. That's what they gave me in the Oracle Angel card here. And not just clear your space, but almost clear the air too. It's a good time to use your voice to set boundaries, or to clear the air, or to, take care of anything that needs to be verbalized. Extremely strong time to do that here in January. Please take advantage of that. That's just a huge opportunity that, I'd hate for you to miss. Next up here we have going up into the third eye. There's a lot of action going on here. That's pretty interesting. It brings it up as physical action, but I'm not going to get too attached to that. I think they just want you to take the physical action of exercising this. The third eye is, your meditation tool, essentially. That's what, when you see things, when you close your eyes, that's your third eye that's doing that. So it shows a lot of action here. So one of two different things. Either you can be kicking high gear right now while you meditate. Your meditations are going to be intense and very productive in the month of January, or it's saying take action to actually start. So some of you who have never done any kind of meditation or something like that could benefit quite a bit from starting, practicing, because it's just like anything else in life. At first you suck at it. It's just kind of how it goes. But the more you do it, it gets better and better. And eventually you learn to be pretty good at something, really you just got to devote your time and energy to it. And the way we end here at the top here for Libra, they show that your crown chakra is quite weak. This needs to be turned around and needs to be strengthened. Your crown chakra is your connection to the cosmos, the lunar energies, the moon cycles we talked about, also the sun, and the cosmic space radiation that exists everywhere around us out in space. Now, this coming in week, for the angel card, they gave me victory, basically saying that, your prayers have been heard and answered, and to have faith. Where do you think, when we pray, where do you think that comes from? It comes from the crown chakra and the heart. That's the main two kind of hubs where that goes, where your concentrated thought and your consciousness is really kind of percolated out. And this coming in week, it's saying that, your prayers haven't answered, but at the same time, like, we want them to not just be answered, but we want them to continue to be heard and continue to be answered. So your crown chakra really needs to be strengthened. Your crown chakra is that deep, beautiful purple. It's actually the same color of this angel card that I'm staring at, that I pulled for it for you, and that's just kind of validating for me that this purple needs to be a power move for you here. It's almost like if you're going to meditate or pray, visualize the color purple. Certainly can strengthen that. I also like to visualize kind of like a spinning rotation here going on in your mind. That can kind of help stimulate that to open up. And also there are some guided meditations for crown chakra that you can do on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff on there for free. Let's see what else. There's something I'm missing there. And the last thing that I can really add to that is you can actually use purple as your power move in January. If you're feeling weak or you're feeling depleted in January, you can really kind of almost just wear purple, whether it's jewelry that's purple, like an amethyst or something like that, or even just a shirt that's the color purple, because as above, so below, you end up actually like kind of like getting it to work itself out from, really kind of concentrating on it. So whatever means that you need to concentrate on the color purple to get your crown chakra going, or guided meditations, or, starting your own meditations down here with the action that shows it kicking really well. These are all things that you can improve your spiritual health with in the chakra scrub. So there's all 7 of them from the bottom to the top to bottom, kind of all the way through it. So I want to thank you so much for joining. Up next is the quadrants video. It's a very interesting spread there, a very deep dive into divination, and it's the only time that I do that. So, absolutely take advantage of watching that video. It's coming up next. I want to thank you so much for joining. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you soon. Take care.